Okay, guys, welcome. Today we're having a guest, a very special guest. He's called Johnny FD. He's one of the guys that's basically inspired me and he's helped me to get to where I am today. What I'm saying about how he got to where I am today is I listened to his podcast and I found a Kindle course on his podcast. He interviewed someone that was making $3,000 a month. And I took that course, and now you've been following my journey on Fresh Belief, and you see how it's done, bit by bit. So, welcome, Johnny. Thank you
Hey,
for coming for the interview.
yeah, Michael, I'm really glad to be on here, especially after the way we actually met, which you had to remind me of because I actually completely had forgotten.
Oh, 13 coins. Yeah, yeah, yeah. A long time
Yeah,
ago.
so, yeah, so me and Michael actually met in a previous life when I was doing Muay Thai. I was training at a gym in Bangkok before I did any of this online business stuff, before the podcast, before the books, before the blog. So it's kind of cool to have before circle now.
Yeah. So for people that don't know you, can you just give a little background, what you were doing before you became a blogger and an online entrepreneur, and which one came first?
Yeah, so I mean, technically I've been blogging ever since I had a computer. Um, but I never made any money from it. Even when I was training Muay Thai, I had a blog called My Fight Camp, which is still up, but I don't really update it. And I would just write, about the different gyms I've been to. Like I'm sure if you search like 13 coins Muay Thai review, one of my blogs will come up, and I wrote a post about it. And my only goal with it was to kind of document my journey, but also, in hopes, maybe another gym will see it and say like, oh, if you want to come train for free or you want to sleep in our attic like I did at 13 coins, you can do that for free. And it was a way where I can travel cheaply and be able to do what I loved, which at the time was Muay Thai.
Awesome. I still remember do you remember the video you did for 13 coins, the menu one? Do you remember that one you did?
Yeah, I don't remember what was it again.
Okay, so you just like you go around the gym and then you like did the menu thing and you rolling over the menu. It was quite a cool video, like I was thinking I could do something just like that too. And I tried to like do
Okay.
something similar for I think when I went to down to Lime Muay Thai in Phuket. But yeah,
Okay.
you have to check back through your videos and yeah, it's pretty cool video.
Yeah. I'll take a look at that. Yeah, and I made videos like that, everywhere I went at different Muay Thai gyms. Really with the intention of because it was fun, but also because maybe I can train for free. But that was really it. And but thinking back, I think those kind of hard lessons, the work I put in, that has helped me with my actual business career, my entrepreneur career.
How would you say that has helped you from there to now?
Yeah, so I mean, being able to just hustle and just work for free, when and do things without really immediate reward for. Learning how to set up a blog, having the commitment of writing, taking photos, making videos, editing the photos, being in front of the camera, sharing the story, openly sharing, all these things. Even though I wasn't getting paid for it, now that I'm pretty much doing the exact same thing, but more for business and entrepreneur programs, it's made it a lot easier because I've just been used to it.
Yeah. So when you started your blog, has the nature, like the johnnyfd.com, has the nature of that blog changed since you first started it?
So one funny thing about johnnyfd.com, which I don't think I've ever mentioned, was I started that blog before Muay Thai. I registered,
Really?
yeah, I didn't register johnnyfd.com. It was just, I think it was Johnny something at blogspot.com. And I wrote one post. This was when I was in Koh Lanta and I was scuba diving. I wrote a post saying, this blog, I'm going to document my authentic self. And I think the reason why I wrote it is because had spent so much time, my whole life pretty much being chasing after someone else's dream. Either going to school so I can go to a good college, so I can get a good job to make my parents happy, or trying to be cool to impress girls so I can meet the ladies, or doing something else that had nothing to do with me and who I really was or what I really wanted to be. So I wrote this, made this blog, wrote this post saying this is where I'm going to be authentic, I'm going to be transparent, and then I never had another post for like 3 years because it probably took that long for that seed to grow and for me to be ready to go back and post in it. And I think what it was is it took me, I think when I did start writing on it again, instead of starting a new blog, I was like, oh, well, I already have this one set up. I can just start posting on it again. And, I think if you go back to the very first couple posts on Johnny FD, it was me just starting out with business and, this kind of like entrepreneur lifestyle. And it's very different than it is today.
Interesting. Yeah. So was it you started your drop shipping store like 3 years ago, right?
Yeah, almost exactly. Well, so I started actually a little bit less than 3 years ago, but exactly 3 years ago, pretty much, this month, that's when I like started looking into how I can make money online, and that's when I first joined Anton's course. That's when I first had my first Kindle book, 12 Weeks in Thailand, on Amazon selling.
Tell my viewers a little bit more about what 12 Weeks in Thailand is about.
Yeah, so the book is called The Good Life on the Cheap, and it was all about how to live in Thailand as cheap as possible. So, money saving tricks on taxis and accommodation, Muay Thai gyms, scuba diving, food, Thai food, and it was kind of just a way to document my journey. Those first 4 years actually in Thailand. The reason why I call it 12 weeks in Thailand is because I would normally come for 3-month trips. Where I'll do 3 months of Muay Thai, have a fight, and I'll take 3 months of either going back home to save up to come again, or I would go, work at a scuba diving resort for a few months.
So you've got to imagine yourself going back 3 years now. Could you have imagined yourself like in the position you're in right now and earning the amount you're right now, like all them years ago? Could you ever think of that?
No, because at the time my goal was to be able to make 20,000 baht a month, which was 600 US. Mm-hmm. Because I knew that if I could make that amount, I can live in Thailand for the rest of my life. That's the amount I wrote down, and I broke down all of my expenses in the book. And I knew if I lived in a cheap apartment and ate cheap Thai food and I kind of had a beer once in a while, I didn't overspend, $600 is all you need to basically retire, and live the good life on the cheap. And it is a good life, I would actually rather have that than have a stressful job back home in the US or the UK where you're in traffic, you're commuting, you have a boss that's yelling at you, coworkers, that, maybe you don't respect you don't respect them, doing a job you don't want to do. I'd almost rather still have a cheap, crappy life here and have freedom than that. But if you told me I'd be earning $15,000 a month, which is more than I made in a whole year back then, I wouldn't have believed it.
Wow. Yeah. So right now is like you've got many things going on. Like I think you've got 3 courses. You've got like Earnest Affiliate and 2 Udemy courses, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I've actually taken all 3 of them, but I haven't gone through the relationship one yet.
Okay.
So regarding the Earnest Affiliate, why was it that you decided that you wanted to do like that course? And just tell my viewers what Earnest Affiliate is and what it's all about.
Yeah. So my course, earnestaffiliate.com, is a internet marketing course based on affiliate marketing. And what I wanted to put out there was a way that people can really learn how to make money through affiliate commissions while being honest, while recommending things that they personally use and personally believe in. Most affiliate marketing out there is people, running crazy ads, trying to get people to click stuff and sign up for like surveys or like bingo offers and, a bunch of BS that they don't really care what the product is. They just want to make the commission for it. And it really kind of messes up the market because, that's when people stop trusting people online, right? Because everyone's trying to make a buck.
There's too many people like saying, "Oh, buy this, buy this, buy this, buy
Yeah.
this." People don't know where to look, right?
Yeah. But at the same time, there's a lot of things that genuinely do work and make our lives better, help us, courses that really work that you can learn a lot from. If it wasn't for taking courses, I wouldn't be where I am today. Like I never would have been able to make, even know how to build a business online, know how to make websites and know how to make e-commerce stores, know how to do any of this stuff. So what I started doing is during my journey, I would recommend things that I was using, whether it's my email mailing software, which I use is Aweber, or my VPN, so I can connect to the US, even when I'm traveling in Thailand, and I use Retopia for that. And all these different things. Every time I talk about it, either on the podcast or on the blog or through email, I would use an affiliate link. And for the first year or so of the blog, never really made any money. Maybe like here and there I'd make $20, $30. So it was nice. So I never really talked about it. But it felt like overnight, all of a sudden, those $30 checks ended up being $300 checks. And because I had talked about so many different things, it wasn't just one item that was bringing in $300. I would get like 10 $300 checks, or most of them were like PayPal transfers, and all of a sudden I had $3,000 coming in a month from doing nothing. And when I say nothing, it's not like it's the overnight success, because these are things I probably wrote on a blog post months ago, but it's truly passive income because I wrote it months ago, and because my blog had become more popular, because Google had picked it up as a source of good quality information, because people started sharing those articles and those guides, and because my email list had grown, all these things started adding up, and all of a sudden I was making $3,000 to $5,000 a month just in affiliate commission. And this is on top of my actual businesses that I was running. And I realized I need to do something. I either need to share this information, or I need to keep quiet and not tell anyone about it. And it was kind of a fork in the road, right? Because you can kind of see why a lot of people kind of want to just keep that quiet and say, you know what, this is working great for me. Let me not like stir the pot. Let me just continue doing this. And it took me, I had to really think about it for a night. And I was like, I'm at a crossroad. What should I do? And I realized long term, this is something that needs to be out there, because nobody was teaching this. I think even today nobody's teaching a very earnest or honest way of affiliate marketing. All the affiliate marketing courses out there are how to cloak your Facebook ads to make it look like you're advertising one thing when you're really advertising some kind of shady, gambling offer or something.
I've seen them.
Yeah. And, or how to, XYZ, right? And there's all kind of black hat, kind of shady stuff. And I was like, you know what? Let me be the one to be the case study and share what I've learned. And I used myself as a case study. So, if you sign up for the course, inside of it, there's 5 case studies, and each one of them shows, between 1 and, it's like 5 categories. So I think it's total of maybe 10 products in those 5 case studies of things that I personally have recommended and have earned affiliate commission from. And actually all 5 of the case studies are still true today. If anything, I just make more from each one, just because my whole kind of brand has grown. So my affiliate commissions had gone from about $3,000 to $5,000 a month to about $10,000 a month, kind of doing more of the same. So everything still holds true, and it kind of just shows that if you just continue doing things correctly and you don't burn any bridges, that you can grow your income very steadily and have it be pretty consistent if you think about it.
Yeah, it's like I'm a student of your course, and like I think up to this date, I've made like I think it's like between $600 to $800 since I started.
Yo, congratulations, man!
Thanks,
That's
man.
Awesome.
And it's mainly come from like 2 products, and I've actually mentioned these 2 products in what's it called in like I think it's like 2 or 3 posts, and I've interlinked the post. I've like used the stuff you told me on the course, and it was just like the only reason why I found out I got the money is because I got an email from PayPal. I was like, "You received money?" I was like, "What's going on?" So, after that, that's when I was like, oh, okay, I've got to tell people about your course, because I personally benefited from it. It's like but it's just like again, it's like that's the biggest thing. It's like I want to say thank you again for helping me bring your course to me, and the Kindle thing because if it hadn't been for you, like if I hadn't seen what you were
Yeah.
doing and reading your blog, like I wouldn't have got to like what I'm doing now.
What were you doing before all this? Like, what was your main
Um,
source of income?
main source of it, I was like teaching English. I was selling things online. I was doing a bit of freelancing,
Okay.
but I didn't really have any direction. Um,
Okay.
and it was like I used to do the Muay Thai, and I used to go over to China and fight like K1, and
Mm.
go to China fight 5 times in 1 month, bring back like 150,000 baht, you know,
Okay.
and it was like, yeah, it's all right, it's a nice life, but after seeing and reading your blog, I was like, I want to be able to put the work up front and then
Hmm.
be able to reap the benefits. It's like now with my Kindle business, I should hit 1,000. If the way it's going, I should hit $1,000, and
Hmm.
that's like passive income now as well. The
That's
Kindle
great, man.
publishing.
That's really great. How long did it take you from starting we're hearing the interview on my podcast about Kindle, starting the course, publishing a book, and then making your first sales?
Making the first sales wasn't that difficult. Like when I first started, I had two books,
Yeah.
and one of them it sucked. It just didn't do well. I've kind of revitalized it a little bit now by tweaking it a bit, but it's okay. But the other book, my first month, I did like $26, but that was only kind of like for a few, like I think it was like for 10 days.
Mm.
And then after the second month, I made I think it was 120 or something. Or no, 90. I made 90 the next month. Then it went up to
Okay.
100 and something. And it just kept on rising. I kept on producing more books. Um, but the one thing about the Kindle business is you have to invest money into it. It's not
Okay.
like drop shipping where you don't have any stock. You've got to pay for the covers. You've got to pay for write the book. You've got to pay someone to write the books. Then you've got to promote it. And then there's a lot of things that go into the Kindle publishing. But now all the books that I've done, I don't have to do anything else for them. And all them books, as long as they keep on doing what they're doing, that's $1,000. I could just stop now, sit back, relax, and let my affiliate income come
That's
in.
nice. I like it. Where are you living now?
I'm just outside of Bangkok, but I'm moving into Bangkok, and
Okay.
I'm going to work at Hubba. You went there before, right?
Oh yeah, the co-working space. Yeah, cool,
Yeah.
man.
It's a nice place. I went there yesterday, and it's looks pretty cool, man. So
Okay.
like
Legit, I like it.
I've been working from home for quite a while, so it'll be a nice change.
So let me ask you this. So your affiliate income, are those mainly coming from posts that you've written, weeks ago or months ago, or
Yeah,
are they coming off of really? Okay, I see.
yeah.
Perfect.
I don't earn any email marketing yet. I'm just starting to get into that now.
Okay. That's module 7. You gotta get on it, buddy.
I mean that's in regards to what's it called? My Kindle business, like the back end.
Okay. Okay, I
So,
see. All
but
right.
I've got to do that as well, because I ignored the email marketing before. I was like, yeah. So
It's such an important thing. It's one of those things where I've heard many, many times in the past. I would say that's the one motif that I've heard more than anything is people saying you have to build an email list, and that was the one thing I put off for the longest time. And I think the reason why I put it off was in my mind I thought uh, it's email is dead, right? Like people now only use Facebook. People now only use MySpace or whatever it was at the time.
MySpace,
Uh,
that's a long time.
that people don't care about email anymore. It's dying. Uh, I also didn't want to spend $100 a year to pay for an email marketing software like Aweber or these other ones, and I just put it off. And just like everyone said, as soon as I, said, let me actually do this seriously, and I started collecting emails, I started setting up an autoresponder, started sending out emails, my income pretty much doubled. So now I spend like $50 a month just for my email software because I have so many addresses where I have to pay for a bigger plan.
Ah, okay.
But because it's all set up, uh, it's automatic, and that's the best passive income that you ever get.
Yeah.
And now less and less people are using Facebook. People are now moving to Snapchat. But I guarantee you in a few years, people are going to stop using Snapchat and they're going to move to something else. But the one constant has always been email, and that will always stay.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm starting to believe in that too. It took me a while, but now I'm starting to be like, okay, I know there's ways I can increase it. So that's the bit I'm focusing on right now. Just trying to learn it.
Yeah. And here's actually a kind of a inside, I don't know, not a secret, but inside info. There's a guy that I met here in Chiang Mai that he has been in the internet marketing world for a long time, for 10 plus years, and he doesn't really do that much anymore. I think he's kind of just retired. And I asked him what income he still gets, and he says, everything that he did, it's after you do it, like there's no more income except for all his affiliate stuff, where things like Aweber that he promoted for building email lists, some of those people are still subscribers,
Yeah.
and because they pay. And this is going to blow people's minds. So people listening right now, if you guys don't know how affiliate marketing works, is you either get a one-time payout as like a bonus for someone signing up to your link. So let's say someone signs up for Uber, just to make it really easy, through your link, they might get their first ride free, and you might get $25 in credit or something like that. And after you use that credit, it's gone, done, right? If we sold something, like let's say we sold this microphone, this USB mic, through my affiliate link, because I recommend what mics I personally use on my blog, because obviously it's the best one if I'm using it, because I've done the research. If someone buys it, I might get 7% commission from selling this, but it's one time, and that's it. What's great about affiliate marketing is if you did it the correct way, like I teach in my course, like through blog posts, things are evergreen, maybe 6 months, a year, 2-3 years from now, people will still find this post and they'll still click my affiliate link. I'll still get commission from it. But what's even better than that is when people sign up for things that are reoccurring billing, things like an email software service where you get 20% of that person's bill for the rest of their life, as long as they're a customer. And in the beginning, that person's bill might have only been $20 a month. So you might have only gotten $4 a month, but it's not too bad, right? It's still free money. But some of those people now, he said, that have like hundreds of thousands of people on their email list because they've grown it so much over the years. So their bills now are thousands of dollars a month, and he's getting 20% of that.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's why I was like,
so you knew right away. Yeah,
I think. Yeah.
Yeah, because you understand what the power of affiliate marketing. Like you knew in your head, you're like, man, this guy's probably making thousands of dollars a month by doing nothing. But what's cool is obviously that person is happy with the service, or they would just switch to another one. There's so many different email marketing softwares out there. There's Constant Contact and MailChimp. There's GetResponse. There's all these different ones. So if they were not happy with the recommendation, they would just move, and that person would lose all of their reoccurring commissions. So that's why it's so important to be earnest and so important to recommend things that really, really work.
Okay, so the next thing is like you have a lot of things going on. How are you able to manage everything?
So the way I do it is I start something new, and I put all my focus and all my attention on it, but then I automate it. Then it's passive, and that way I don't even have to spend that much time on it. So even though, if you guys look at any of my income reports, it looks like I have 8 streams of income, but if you really look at it, how many of those are completely passive? Like my books, I don't have to, I wrote those books 2-3 years ago. I don't have to do any marketing for them because people naturally talk about it. Maybe I might mention it once in a while in an interview, but in general, people read the book, they like it, they tell their friends. Maybe they might leave a review, and that bumps it up in search rankings. So that is 100% passive. Same thing with my courses. It's almost all my new customers are people who are recommended by a friend, or people find it on their own. And I have my dropshipping stores, which I have, people running. I have virtual assistants. I have someone in the U.S. running it. I have a girl in the Philippines who does all accounting for it. I have, so pretty much every single thing I do is complete passive. And I actually just hired an intern, so he's now taking care of everything else that I used to have to do myself.
Okay. So you'd say the virtual assistants really, really, really help your businesses run, right?
Yeah, I think anything that you are spending your time doing, you should do in the beginning just to kind of understand it. But then you should ask yourself, is my time worth more than $4 an hour?
Yeah.
Is it something that someone else can do? And if so, why are you doing it yourself? Especially because one of my VAs, I asked her, I said, how much, what would you like to get paid? And she says, she's like, I would like, and she was like hoping for it. She's like, is it okay if you give me $250 an hour? And I was like, yeah, of course, here you go. And I think I actually always round up, so I always end up giving her a little bit more. But in places like the Philippines, where the average salary is so low, people are so happy if you can pay them $3, $4, $5 an hour. They're ecstatic, and if they can do good work and take a load off of you, why wouldn't you have them do it?
Yeah, same thing for my Kindle. I actually hire VAs from the Philippines also, and they keep on calling me sir, and I'm like, I'm not that old guy, But no, they're really, really hardworking people. I can vouch for that too.
Yeah, nice.
So, what's the next one? All right, so now you've made your businesses and everything. For somebody that's like looking to make their first like dollar online or make their first income online, what would your advice be to them?
So making your first dollar online is the ultimate game changer. Whatever you do, like that first, I wouldn't say dollar, but first $50 that you make, that completely changes your life, because you realize, if I can make this once, why can't I do this every day? Why can't I set it up so it's automated, where this can happen while I'm sleeping or while I'm at work, while I'm doing something else? And if I can sell one item a day for $50, why can't I sell two? And if you start doing the math, because it's the internet, the internet doesn't sleep. So it's 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. And if you can generate 2 sales a day, that's, $100 a day. In a month, that's $3,000. And that is exactly the same as what most people make in a 9-to-5 job. And it's pretty insane to think about that. There's so many things that work. I would say, if you are going to do something, follow in someone's footsteps. If you follow Michael's blog, take a look to see what's working for him and duplicate it. Kindle is a great way of generating passive income, with pretty low startup costs. It's not super technical. Everything's, and it becomes 100% passive after it's up and running. Drop shipping is how I got started. There's a million ways to do it, but the worst thing you can do is put it off. I would say every single person, watching this or listening to this, follow someone who's done it already, take their advice and just do it.
Okay. So once the person's like made their first like dollars online and they want to build it up, how would you suggest, or how would you say they could like start scaling it up?
So the easiest way to scale is to just duplicate. So if you have one Kindle book that's making $300 a month, why not have 2 Kindle books? Now you're making $600 a month. The second time is always easier too, because you've already done it once. You already know what you're doing. I would say do that as many times until you're bored, until you're no longer passionate about it, until you're like, I'm sick of this, or you just want to diversify. You want to have a different income stream. Then automate those things. Hire VAs to take care of the day-to-day duties if there are any. And then start working on your second project where you do the exact same thing. You get the first one working. You automate it. Try to make it as passive as possible. And then if that item makes $1,000 a month, great. Celebrate, but then start again. Do the exact same thing in a different niche. A different niche could be a different book title in a different category, or it can be a different store and a different, selling different items, and just repeat that again, and it adds up. I mean, like the 15 grand that I earn now, it's from 10 different sources, so it's not any one thing. And I'm actually happy it's not one thing. If it's one thing, I'd probably wouldn't sleep as well at night, knowing that if you have all your income coming from one item, or one channel, what if that dries up? What if something happens, right? But if you have it from 5, 10 different sources, that no matter what's going to happen, you will always have income.
Okay. One of the biggest things that happened to me, and I think happens to a lot of people, is when you start out on your online journey, you have people around you saying, "Oh, you need to get the 9 to 5 job. You need security. You need this. You shouldn't do this." What would you say to the people that are actually thinking about doing this, but they have these people around them saying, "Oh, no, don't do this. Don't do this. You need the security." You know what I mean, right?
Yeah, the easiest way is to look at them and ask yourself, what have they done that maybe I can learn from? Do they have $1 million business? Are they super successful themselves? If so, maybe take their advice and say, okay, well, let me do what you're doing, and maybe I can get some advice, doing what they're doing. But if they are not as successful, they don't have the life that you want. They don't have freedom or location independence. They're not business owners. Then why would you listen to them? There's a million reasons why they might try to hold you back, and it's not always bad reasons. Maybe they're worried about you. Maybe they're scared. Maybe they read something somewhere, that instilled fear in them. The fear of the unknown. Maybe they don't want you to lose you as a friend. Maybe they don't want you to move on. Whatever it is, ask yourself, what say do they have? What experience do they really have? Why listen to them? And just do it anyways, because if I didn't take these gambles, I wouldn't be here today.
Okay, that's a pretty good one, yeah. I've kind of similar thoughts to yourself too. So from how has your mindset changed from before till so I'll probably say 3 stages: from before you were where you were before, and then when you made your first amount online, and then when you were making after your stores became very successful, and then now, how has it changed for those 4 steps?
It shifted so much. I think I was probably the most excited when I was making $1,000 or $2,000 a month, because that was the biggest shift. That was going from zero to having enough to live here for as long as I want, for life to be as good as I want, right? I think from 3,000 to 5 or so, my lifestyle didn't change. I just got to save more money. Now that I've been making over 15,000 pretty consistently, I feel very fortunate. I feel like my life is amazing. That there's a lot of things that I'd want to do with it, but I still live in the same apartment. I still eat the same Thai food. I still enjoy life just as much. But I think what has changed is knowing 100% that there's so many people out there giving advice that have no idea what they're talking about. Because there's so many things that I've been successful with that even today, people online on Reddit or in YouTube comments or, these places that just everyone has an opinion. Pretty often, people who have never done it themselves, or at least have never really, really tried it themselves, never really committed 3 months to doing it, they have all these opinions on whether something works or not, and they are almost always wrong. I've learned throughout this journey, after interviewing now 115 different people on my podcast, after meeting hundreds if not thousands of entrepreneurs, that pretty much everything works. It doesn't mean that I want to commit my time in Kindle publishing, but that doesn't mean that there aren't tons of people making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month on Kindle publishing. I've met a lot of people who do it, and that's why I interview my podcast, because I'm curious. I want to pick their brain. There's always going to be pros and cons of everything, whether it's Kindle, FBA, drop shipping, freelancing, whatever it is. There is pros and cons, but when people focus just on the negatives and they don't think about the upside, that's when they don't take any action, and they end up being losers.
Okay. So, like, being where you are in Thailand, it's, well, like I say, it's difficult to spend your money because things are so cheap. Like, with the money that you've got, do you like invest it in more? Do you invest it, or you save it, or do you do something else with it? How is that working out for you now?
Yes, so probably 70-80% of my money I save. I'm getting really big into investments. I'm going to be talking about it a lot more on Johnny FD. And actually, I'm going to talk, a lot more about on podcasts as well, just because it's exciting to me, right? It's the most passive business you can have is having your money work for you and having your money make more money. Aside from that, what I spend my money on, I would say the biggest expense that I have is if I fly international somewhere, instead of sitting coach, I'll upgrade a business class. And even though it costs 4 times as much as a coach ticket, to me it's worth it. My health is worth it. It becomes, a way where I can really enjoy the experience. I can really look forward to flying instead of dreading it. I can arrive at my destination well rested with less jet lag, and my body feels better. So to me, it's super worth it. I also started giving my mom money. I convinced her to quit her job, so I pay for her normal salary now, so she doesn't have to work anymore. And things like this, as well as donating to charities. This is what makes me happy. Like I don't need to ball out and live in a penthouse. I don't need to wear fancy clothes. I like these experiences and being able to kind of give back.
Have you been down to Watana yet? You should just, if you get any time, go down there.
Okay.
It's like Francis and Boom. Me and them have been long-term friends, and you will have a whole different experience. You'll have a whole different view on life because of like everything, the poverty down there. But the kids are always just smiling, and
Yeah.
it's such a cool place to go down to see. So like, if you only get time, just go down there. There's flights from Chiang Mai, I think it's to Khon Kaen, like on Can Air, and then you just like go down. So I really recommend going there.
Yeah, I've actually spoken to her a lot. I've been donating to her Muay Thai school for a while now, for almost a year now. So I'm happy to support it. Yeah, but I would love to go check it out.
Yeah, I really recommend it. It's one of the places that I think I go like at least once, like about once a month. Just to catch up with them. Nice. So, do you ever feel that one day you'll just stop working and let everything just run passively?
I don't think so, because I like working. I think I'm actually at a point now where I don't want to do anything I don't want to do. So even little things like editing my podcast and uploading it, I think from now on I'll always have an assistant do it for me, just because it's not the best use of my time. I'd rather spend my time interviewing people or talking to people than doing the kind of back end stuff that someone else can do. But I think I'll always want to do something because it's fun.
Okay, so what are your future goals now?
It's hard to say, man, because I actually just sold one of my dropshipping stores.
Yeah, congrats, man. I saw that. I saw that video and I was like, he's excited.
Yeah, I was jumping up and down for that.
That was so cool.
Yeah, and I think I just need a break right now, so I'm not really focusing on what I want to do next yet. I'm actually flying to Europe this summer, and I'm just gonna chill out. I'm gonna work a little bit just because I enjoy. I want to interview people, do things, but mainly gonna travel, enjoy myself, and then I think when I get back in maybe October, November, that's when I'm gonna start crushing again and start some new projects.
Okay, so you've seen my blog, right? Fresh Belief. You had a look through it.
Yeah.
All right. So is it from looking at it? Is there anything that you would say, like, just example to my listeners, so they can get an idea of, like, things that you can help them with? And would there be anything that you say I could improve on my blog, or is like to like do anything with it?
Yeah, definitely. So taking a look at it now, it's funny because the color scheme, everything you chose, it looks like it's from the 90s, right?
Really wasn't.
Yeah. But if you look at johnnyft.com, it's actually not that much better. And if you looked at it even 6 months ago, it was just on like this crappy free theme. It's like it never looked good.
Yeah.
So it's all about content, right? Like people care way more about you're what you're sharing
Yeah.
than they care about like how it looks, right? So kind of just going through some of your posts right now, I can see you really kind of show people the screenshots step by step how to do things, which is what people want. I think one thing that you can really strive to do, actually no, you have it already, is you have videos as well of you kind of walking people through everything, and I think that's such a big thing. You pretty much implemented most of the things, if not everything that I've mentioned in the course, and I think that's why you're doing well. I think that's why you're already making a couple $100 a month from this. And from this point on, it's really just about growing your traffic. Getting more people to find to find and follow you. And the best way to do it is to share your journey. So things like sharing your monthly income reports.
Yeah.
Even though right now they're going to be a lot smaller than what you would ideally like it to be in the future. People will love following along the journeys.
Well, I'm already doing the Kindle income reports. Like I'm actually doing, like, before I've just been saying how much I've earned, but like this month I'm actually going to be doing the expenses as well. Like I'm gonna like they say I'll add on the affiliate incomes too, just for your for the
Yeah, I think you're going to love it. I mean, it's what's great is, some people might look at my income report and be like, he's too far ahead. There's no way I can catch up.
Yeah.
Right. But people can look at yours and say, you know what? I would love to have a couple $1,000s in passive income. That's exactly where I want to be. And I can see myself getting there in a few months, versus someone might look at my stuff and be like, oh, that's going to take years to get to.
Yeah. So, okay, Johnny. Is there any final words you want to say before we close and wrap it up?
Yeah, I mean, I love the name Fresh Belief. It really shows kind of like that idea of saying, no, even if everything else has not worked, even if you've heard so much negativity in the past from friends, family, from everything else, if you look at things with a fresh pair of eyes, listen to it with a fresh mind, and you really believe in yourself, you believe that this life is possible, you'll accomplish great things. And it really is. I really am sitting here in front of all of you guys today, very happy, very content, with a lot more money in my bank account coming in than I ever imagined. And none of it was a magic trick. Everything is documented, and best of all, I teach it all. So there's really no excuses.
All right. So if people want to see your blog, podcast, anything like that, can you just I'll add them in the links below and in the post as well. But can you just tell people where they can find you?
Yeah. So if you want to listen to my podcast, it's travellikeabosspodcast.com, or you can just find it on your phone and subscribe. My blog is johnnyfd.com. It's all on there. And if you're interested in signing up for my course, Earnest Affiliate, you can go through Michael's affiliate link, which hopefully he'll put in the description. A great name. I like it. JohnnyMethod.com. And you know what? It's one of those things where I bet you if someone used, your link to go to my course, you're going to be extra helpful in the forums. You're really going to be there to see them succeed, because then you have like a big incentive of saying, you know what, this person trusted me enough to use my to go through my link to sign up. I want to make sure this person makes their money back as quick as possible and starts really, really benefiting from it.
Okay, Johnny, thank you very much for your time. It's been a pleasure speaking to you and picking your mind, and okay, we'll maybe have another interview in the future when you're a millionaire.
Hopefully, be soon.
All right, catch you soon. Bye bye.